He had billions, cars, mansions, but not the one thing he wanted. Her. One night with a cleaner changed everything. Welcome to Nigel Prince Folktales. Subscribe for fresh content, and let's explore the richness of tales. Join our community of like-minded story lovers. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment for new stories every week. Thanks. Let's know where you are watching from in the comments section. Zayn Okonkwo wasn't your regular billionaire. He didn't wear a bada for effect. He didn't talk much. But when he smiled, women collapsed like expired electric fans. It was a Friday night in Lagos, and the headquarters of Okonkwo Capital was glowing like a wedding cake. The company had just closed a record-breaking merger, and Zayn decided to throw a staff party inside the company's rooftop lounge. There were men in bow ties dancing like their school fees just entered, secretaries sipping Chapman with eyelashes long enough to sweep the dance floor, and HR girls giggling into their phones. But Zayn sat in one corner with a half smile and a glass of something expensive. His brothers were chasing girls like market meat, but he just wanted to disappear. Until, slash, a splash of mop water hit his Italian shoes. He looked down, then up, and saw her. Ah, blood of Lazarus. The cleaner gasped, almost dropping her mop. She was petite, brown-skinned, and wore a faded company apron that said, "Keep it clean. Hygiene is queen." But her eyes? Sharp like a house rent reminder. "I'm so sorry, sir," she said quickly, bending to wipe the shoe. "Leave it," Zayn said, voice deep and amused. But she kept scrubbing. Zayn chuckled. "Are you trying to polish it till I see my ancestors?" The girl looked up. Her mouth curled into a stubborn smirk. "If you don't want your shoe cleaned, then no be cleaner you suppose call." Zayn tilted his head. "You know who I am?" "Of course. You're Mr. Tall, dark, and emotionless." A pause. Then Zayn laughed, his first real one in weeks. "What's your name?" he asked. She straightened up and grinned. "You want to sack me before promotion?" "Oga, please." "Promotion? You want to be chief mop officer?" "If the shoe fits," she said, with an exaggerated curtsy, and walked away like she hadn't just insulted the most powerful man in the building. Later that night, after everyone had gone and the music faded into silence, Zayn found her again, outside on the rooftop balcony. She had removed her apron and leaned on the railing, hair wrapped in a scarf, eating puff-puff from a nylon. "You always eat puff-puff with that much seriousness?" he asked. She turned. Serious times call for serious puff-puff. Zayn laughed again, and somehow they talked for hours about life, about pain, about why she didn't do university. I was too busy surviving. And why he didn't like parties, too many fake laughs, not enough peace. The conversation flowed like chilled malt. No pretense. No titles. Just two strangers under Lego stars. At one point, she told him her name, Adora. At another point, she asked him, "If you had no money, who would you be?" And Zayn, for the first time in years, didn't know how to answer. Then things got blurry. Not because of alcohol. No, Zayn wasn't drunk. He was intoxicated, but by her. Her laugh, her spirit, the way she called him Mr. Emotionless and billionaire with bad taste in curtains. Before the night ended, they both got impulsive tattoos, a tiny star behind the ear. "Something silly," Adora said, "so that even if we forget each other, the mark will remember." They made love that night. Not wild, not crazy, just real. Real enough for Zayn to whisper after, "Stay." But when he woke up, the bed was cold. Her apron was gone. No phone number. No name on staff records. Security said she'd left before dawn. Zayn sat up, stunned. Just like that. He muttered. He touched the tattoo behind his ear. He didn't even know her full name. From that day, the mighty Zayn Okonkwo began a quiet obsession. He rejected every girl his mother brought, deleted dating apps, shut down his flirtatious exes. Anytime someone touched that side of his neck, he flinched like it burned. "She left a star," he once said to his driver. "On, Oga. People day find millions. You day find cleaner?" The driver replied. But Zayn didn't care. because in a world full of fake diamonds, she was a star. Even if she left him with nothing but mop water memories and an ear that never stopped tingling. Zayn al-Konkwo had everything: money, mansions, Range Rovers, respect. But he also had one big problem. No cleaner. No, not the mop type. The one cleaner that swept into his life one night, left a star behind his ear, and vanished before cockcrow like a romantic armed robber. 3 years had passed. 3 long years. Zayn had turned down over 47 women, 5 serious marriage proposals, 1 fake pregnancy, and a spiritual wife that his aunt brought from Imo State. Still no Adora. Inside his marble-coated mansion in Banana Island, Zayn sat alone in his massive living room. The 85-inch TV played Netflix. He wasn't watching. He touched his ear again. The tattoo was fading, but the memory, very bold, very annoying, very Adora. His sister barged in with a girl dressed in gelly like she was about to marry Dangote. "This is Chidinma," his sister beamed. "She makes coconut bread and prays 5 times a day." Zayn looked up once, said congratulations, and walked out. The girl burst into tears. His sister shouted, "Zayn, you'll die alone." "Better alone than with coconut bread I didn't order," he replied from upstairs. Desperate, his cousin booked him a session with a relationship therapist in Lekki. She wore red lipstick and glasses too big for her face. Therapist: "Why do you avoid women?" Zayn: "Because none of them smell like soap and puff puff." Therapist: "You're projecting your trauma." Zayn: "You're projecting rubbish." He walked out after 12 minutes. The therapist called him emotionally constipated. He called her professionally confused. Case closed. Far from Lagos drama. Adora lived in a 2-room apartment in Nsukka with her daughter Zizi, now 3 years old and full of sharp mouth. "Zizi, come and eat your pap." "I'm not a baby again, mummy. I want into me with chicken." "Chicken KO, turkey and I. Eat your pap or fast like Moses." Zizi had Adora's fire and Zayn's exact eyebrows. People noticed. The landlord once asked, "Why this girl day walk like Governor Pekin?" Adora just smiled and locked her door tighter. She never told anyone about Zayn, not even Zizi. To her, he was a one-night gift and a lifetime memory. A story she kept locked deep inside like old birthday money. Back in Lagos, Zayn was doing everything to trace her. He called IT to check archive staff files. No Adora. He paid detectives. They found 3 Adoras. One was a carpenter. He went to clean a mop in public hoping she'd appear. She didn't. He even scrolled TikTok every night looking for a familiar smile. One day he snapped and said to his best friend, "I'll die with this tattoo and no explanation." His friend said, "Or you can just move on." Zayn looked at him like he suggested killing Jesus. Women tried. Oh, they tried. One wore a dress so short it looked like handkerchief. She said, "Can I come in for wine?" Zayn said, "My gate man is inside. Ask him." Another sent him food. He sent it to his dog. Rumors started spreading. Zayn must be gay. Or maybe he's under a curse. Or the cleaner jazzed him. None were true. Only Zayn knew the real madness. No woman could clean the memory of Adora. At school, Zizi's teacher asked them to draw their family. Most kids drew stick figures. Zizi drew a smiling woman, Adora, a small girl herself, a tall man in suit with beard and star by the ear. The teacher was confused. "Zizi, who is this man?" She shrugged. "My daddy, Mummy said he's a star man. That's why he left." Adora nearly fainted when the drawing came home. She burned it, but the universe? Already boiling a plan. Zayn wasn't done searching. Adora wasn't done hiding. And fate? It was getting ready to scatter everywhere. Zayn al-Konkwo hadn't stepped foot in a public market since Obasanjo was president. Billionaires like him shopped online or sent personal assistants with trust issues and debit cards. But that day, destiny dragged him into Ogbit Market in Enugu. He came for a real estate inspection. He stayed for something else. Zayn wore a face cap low over his brows and sunglasses large enough to confuse customs officers. He was bored, tired of site visits, tired of contractors calling him, "Oga, we go roof him sharp sharp." So he strolled into the market for local color. Big mistake. As he passed the tomato seller, he heard sharp noise. "I said I don't interchange." "Keep it, madam." Zane turned. A small girl, no more than 4, stood akimbo in front of the tomato seller. Her uniform was dusty, socks twisted, mouth very active. "My mummy said we don't collect nonsense change from people that cheat," the girl barked. The woman hissed, "Come and carry your tomatoes and get out, Jor." The child flipped her hair. Then Zane saw it. His blood froze. A tiny star tattoo behind the girl's left ear. Same spot, same design, same star. He stumbled backward like the ground shifted under him. His hands trembled. He whispered, "No, no way." Zane abandoned all dignity. He followed the girl through the market, past Okrika sellers, meat flies, and shouting traders. Find Bobo. Come by boxers. Oga Shea Day. Buy Ugg for your wife. He ignored them all. The little girl skipped down a dusty street, turned into a narrow path beside a suya joint, and entered a compound with rusted zinc roofing and stubborn goats. Zane stopped at the gate and peeped through the cracks. Then he heard her tiny voice again. "Mummy, that man from the billboard followed me home." Billboard. The whole country had seen his face at least once. Cursed this billionaire fame. Before he could process anything, the door creaked open, and there she was, Adora, holding a cooking spoon, frozen, staring at him like a ghost just knocked. For a moment, nobody moved. Not the goats, not the girl, not even the wind. Zane removed his cap. "Hi." Adora's spoon dropped. Zizi looked up at her mother. "Is he my real daddy or the other one you always insult?" Adora screamed. "Inside. Now." Zizi sulked and ran inside. Zane stepped forward. "You have a daughter," he said, voice breaking. Adora crossed her arms. "You can count." "You left without telling me. You were supposed to be a fantasy, not a father." Zane blinked. "Do you know how many women I push away because of you?" Adora scoffed. "Congratulations. I pushed out a child." The tension was thick. Zane looked at the ground. "Why didn't you call me? You didn't leave your number. Your office told me to stay away if I value my job." Zane's face changed. "What?" She nodded slowly. "Your assistant, big eyes, smelled like menthol, told me you don't consort with cleaners. So I cleaned myself out of your life." Zane swore under his breath. Adora sighed, exhausted. "What do you want, Zane?" He looked at her with shaking lips. "You, her, us." Inside the small parlor, Zizi stood on the sofa, hands on hips. "If you're going to be my daddy, you must stop wearing sad glasses," she declared. Zane knelt beside her. "Do you want me to be your daddy?" Zizi tilted her head. "You have money?" Adora shouted from the kitchen. "Zizi?" Zizi whispered, "I want roller skates and Indomie with chicken, not pap." Zane smiled through tears. "Done." The girl poked his tattoo and whispered, "Mine is nicer. Mummy said it's our magic mark." Zane turned toward Adora. She looked away, but her hand touched her own ear unconsciously. The same star, hidden beneath her scarf. The star never left. Zane walked back in silence. The sky was dim. His shirt was dusty, but his heart full. For years he had everything, except the two people who mattered. Now he had found them. He pulled out his phone and called his assistant. "Cancel my meetings for the week," he said. "Why, sir?" "Because I just found a woman I loved, and she has a little boss beside her." Zane didn't sleep that night. Not because his hotel bed wasn't soft. It was Egyptian cotton, AC like winter breeze. But his mind was on fire. Adora, Zizi, the star. For 3 years he had searched Lagos, Abuja, even Ghana once, only to find them hiding in a small compound where the gate had no lock and a chicken used a veranda like balcony chair. He didn't just want to be involved. He wanted his family back. But Adora, she'd make things easy. The next morning, Zane returned. Clean-shaven, tucked shirt, perfume whispering class. He knocked. Adora opened the door, already frowning. You again? You thought I would disappear again? I hoped. Zizi ran out in her pink Powerpuff pajamas. Uncle Daddy, you came back. Zane knelt to hug her. She patted his head and said, Your hair is rough, but it's okay. I like you small. Adora sighed and stepped aside. Come in before the neighbors make a WhatsApp group. The parlor was humble. Plastic chairs, cracked tiles, cartoon posters on the wall. Adora served him custard and Accra. He blinked. You still remember I hate custard. She smiled tightly. Exactly. He dropped the spoon. Adora, I came for serious things. Like what? He paused, looked her dead in the eye. I want my daughter. I want you. Silence. She folded her arms. You want to enter my life like Nepa Light? After 3 years. Zane, I looked for you. Adora, with which Google? Zane, they said you resigned. Your number vanished. Nobody knew your full name. Adora leaned forward. And in all your wealth, you couldn't trace a single cleaner? Zane went quiet. She stood. I was nothing to you that night, Zane. You didn't even ask my surname. You enjoyed me. Slept. Then slept again. Zane stood too. You think I'd do this with everyone? I haven't touched another woman since you. Adora laughed like thunder. So because of small mop and puff puff, I turned you to monk. More like a madman. They both stopped and laughed. A little, but the tension still hung like mosquito net. Zane pulled out a file. What's this? Adora asked. A DNA test request. Let's clear all doubt. Before Adora could reply, Zizi snatched the file. I don't like this paper, she said and tore it. Zane and Adora screamed. She marched to the trash bin like a soldier. I already said he's my daddy. His ear looks like mine. Finish. Zane knelt beside her. Do you want me to stay? Zizi looked serious. Do you know how to plait hair? Zane blinked. No. Can you cook a goosey? No. She squinted. You better try. Oh, Mummy doesn't like men that don't contribute. Outside the house, Zane cornered Adora before she could disappear again. He gently touched her wrist. I messed up. Yes, you did. I should have found you sooner. You should have asked for my name. He sighed. I didn't know one night could haunt me for this long. She looked at him, her face softening. I didn't run because I hated you, she whispered. I ran because I was scared that if I stayed, I'd be nothing more than a rich man's memory. Zane leaned closer. You're not a memory. You're the beginning of everything. Adora blinked fast. Don't come here quoting Netflix lines. He kissed her hand. She froze. He smiled. That was me, not Netflix. Back inside, Adora dropped her final verdict. You want us? Zane nodded. You want Zizi? More than anything. Then earn it. Prove you're not just a bored billionaire chasing childhood fantasy. What do I do? She smirked. Start with washing the toilet. Zizi's stomach misbehaved last night. Zane stared. She tossed him a brush. He caught it. Zizi clapped. Uncle Daddy is cleaning. Zane bowed his head like he just entered NYSC. From boardroom to bathroom. For love. He was ready to fight. To sweep. To mop. To cook a goosey. Because for the first time in his life, he wasn't chasing contracts. He was chasing home. A billionaire washing toilet? Not on TV. Not in fantasy. But in real life. Inside a cramped bathroom in Succa, Zane Okonkwo bent over a toilet bowl like a repentant landlord scrubbing eviction away. Adora stood by the door, arms folded, fighting a wicked grin. You missed a spot. Zane looked up, sweat on his forehead. The devil missed your tongue. Zizi burst into laughter from the corridor. Uncle Daddy is mopping. Mummy, can we keep him? Adora rolled her eyes. He's not a puppy, Zizi whispered. But he's cuter than one. Over the next few weeks, Zane did everything to earn his second chance. Attended Zizi's school PTA meeting in a caftan. When asked what class his child was in, he said, small but mighty. Helped Adora cook dinner. Burnt the stew twice, but nailed the rice. Repaired her leaking tap. even though the first time he tried. The kitchen flooded like Noah's Ark. Took Zizi for ice cream, bought her roller skates, and taught her how to say, "I'm rich in destiny." Adora watched him quietly. Every day, the wall around her heart cracked a little more. Word spread in the neighborhood faster than Nipa light. Who's that fine man in corporate shorts fetching water? Why Day's sweep compound like security? That girl Lucky-O, she and her one night, come born husband. One woman even asked Adora, "Is he single?" Asking for my sister in Canada. Adora replied with a smile, "He's taken." By his karma, Zizi started calling him Oga Daddy. Zane didn't mind. One afternoon, Zane invited Adora and Zizi to his mansion in Lagos. Zizi ran through the mansion like a princess set loose. "This house has echo. Echo! Echo!" she shouted from the hallway. Adora looked around the marble staircase, the chandelier that looked like it could power a village, the kitchen that had 4 fridges. "You live here?" Zane nodded. She blinked. "I've been using pots older than this door." He smiled. "Then it's time you upgraded." But she frowned. "Zane, this is your world, not mine." He touched her face. "No, this is our world now. If you'll let me." That evening, he asked him to come outside. There was a small setup under the garden lights. Zizi saw the shiny mop bucket and shrieked, "It's our old mop!" Adora gasped. Zane had kept the same mop from 3 years ago, repainted, wrapped in ribbons. He knelt beside it, opened the bucket. Inside was a velvet ring box. He took her hand. "I don't have the right words, just the right intentions. I don't want to lose you again. Not for anything. Not for pride. Not for fear." He opened the ring box. A simple diamond. Elegant. Zizi clapped. "Say yes, or I'll faint dramatically." Adora's eyes welled with tears. "You brought my mop. You brought my heart," Zane whispered. She nodded and whispered, "Yes, but you're still mopping the toilet tomorrow." The wedding was small, beautiful, and full of jokes. Zizi was a flower girl and MC. The priest said, "You take this woman?" And Zane said, "I've already taken mop duty for life." Adora walked down the aisle in a dress she once only saw in magazines. Later that night, in their honeymoon suite, Adora touched his tattoo gently. "Still hurts." He smiled. "Only when I imagine life without you." She kissed it. Zizi screamed from her bed in the next room. "Can you two stop kissing like teenagers? I'm trying to sleep." And that, my dear bestie, is how a one-night cleaner became a lifetime queen. All because of a star-shaped tattoo and a mop that never forgot. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment.